Hello, family, and welcome to A Cozy Lifestyle with Clarissa Coward. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I post videos twice a week where I share organization tips, decorating ideas, DIYs, crafts, recipes, upcycles, product reviews, and all things to help you live a comfortable, cozy, and organized lifestyle. And don't forget to check out my blog where I offer even more tips at clarissacoward.com. Today's video is going to be an upcycle, something I haven't done in a while, a few DIYs. I've taken some trash to treasure pieces as well as some pieces from Dollar Tree, and I have married them, painted them, and come up with some new ideas. So if you're interested in seeing what I've come up with, just come on in and let's get started. So as you can see here, I've taken a Dollar Tree uh, sign and I'm painting it white. I'm going to do this project, most of them in the farmhouse, modern farmhouse style. So I'm starting with a white base. This will take 2 coats, and you're watching me here put on a pretty thick coat of white. Once I have completed this, I'm going to set it aside and let it dry, and then I will start on something else, which is part of my problem. Very rarely do I work on one project at a time, but I'm going to have to start doing that because it gets a little complicated when I want to share. Here I'm doing the same thing with a couple of Dollar Tree coasters that I purchased. I'm going to turn them into something that I like instead of the wine motif. It wasn't something that I really wanted. I'm laying this on a little thick. I don't usually use this much, but because the colors are just so vibrant, I wanted to make sure that they were covered. And here you can see where I needed to go back once it was dried and add my second coat to my first plaque. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm pouncing because I like the texture. Also here again, while I wait for those to dry, I'm also painting this glass candlestick that I'm going to use as part of this project as well. It will be married with another couple of pieces to complete the project. As I said, family, when I get into this mood, I'm doing 3 or 4 projects at once. I think this one is going to end up being 3 projects. I actually worked on 4, but I think I'm only videoing 3 here. Next time, I'm just going to slow it down and do 1 so it won't be as complicated. But it'll all come together for you at the end. And let me just say that I'm using the Pounce brush because I love the coverage, and it also gives the finished project a little texture. It's not just flat, and I kind of like that. I order these from, you can buy them anywhere, but I order mine from Amazon because you get a nice big pack of them. And here I'm taking 2 more candelabras and I'm going to glue them together to go on another project. And if you'll look here at the top, where I've placed the pink bow, that was project number 4 that I finished before I even started the video. And it was a plaque from Dollar Tree and a candlestick from Dollar Tree that I married together and painted the bottom. And the top of it says, "Love, laugh, and gather together." I think it'll be a really cute addition to any tablescape or vignette. So that was something that I put together as well. So here I'm going to do part 2 of my project, and I'm going to decoupage the plaque and the coasters to make them a set with this napkin that I've chosen. It's a pretty spring summer napkin with flowers, and I'm going to use it as uh, the photo that's going to make it and pull it all together and make this a set with coasters and the plaque. So I'm going to let you watch this as I move along. Guys, I just wanted to pop in for a quick bit and show you that this brush is one that I picked up at Pottery Barn last weekend, and I showed it to you in my haul. And I only paid $1 and something for it, and it is perfect. It is just the perfect feel to it for what I'm doing. Also, I'm trying a different technique. It's called the dry technique, where you do not put any Mod Podge on the bottom, only on the top of the paper or whatever that you're Mod Podging down. And I'm not sure that I like this as well as I like the my normal process, where I also Mod Podge the bottom as well. Here I'm showing you how I go about making it look like it fits into whatever you're Mod Podging down. I am taking the squareness from the napkin on the sides. I want it torn, I want it ragged. So when I go back into um, what do I want to call it? Blend. I want to blend when I add other colors to this, as you'll see me do. It won't look like it's just a picture flop down in the middle of something. It will look like it is actually, I don't know, old world, just painted on, and not just some picture that I've glued onto the project. I didn't have to do that for the coasters because they are square, and I'm going to shave the excess off when I'm done with this, as you'll see, with a file and uh, a block as well. So here for this though, I wanted it to look as if it was part of the plaque, and that's why I did it that way. Also, I'm separating, and I did this for all of the napkins, and I should have explained. I'm separating the napkins. They are three ply. So that means they have two white um, sections on the back, and I separate that. I take that off because the only part that you want to use is the top part, the napkin itself. If you use all three plies, then you will actually pucker and wrinkle, and it will not be good. I use the blow dryer sometimes to make the project go a little faster. So that's what I'm doing here. And as a note, while you're watching this, the Vaseline is sitting there because when I use my E6000, you know how that can clunk up at the ends and sometimes you can't open it. If you put a little Vaseline on the top, that'll stop that from happening. As I said a minute ago, here I am taking off the excess from the coasters with my block and my nail file. I love using the nail file. It just fits better in my hand and it's easier to use. But sometimes the sandpaper block works better because of the intensity of the grit when you're trying to take it off. I think here I'm even going to go back and use scissors as well to make it even and everything just end at the end of the coaster. And as you can see, if you look up top there at the plaque while it's drying, it's not square, and you'll see why I did that in a little bit when I start blending other colors in. And once again, as part of this project, I'm using the two candelabras that I glued together, and now I'm going to paint those. And it's about to come to the end, and you're about to see me pull all of these little um, projects and pieces together into, I hope, what is a unified and pretty project. And here is where I start the blending, as you can see. And I'm using a green, sort of a seashell green, or that matches the color of the napkin. I get as close to that as I can, even though I'm going to build color on top of this. Now, you don't want your paint to be too thick. As you can see, I'm wiping it off on my paper here. Because you're building color as you go. You never, well, I never know. Some people do, I guess. I never know which color is going to be my final color, or if I'm going to end up with, how many times I'm going to have to come back and build more. Because you'll see in a little bit that I'm also going to use another color with this, but I'm starting out with a color that matches the background of the napkin. Just in case I may want to actually use the coasters in the future, I am sealing them with an indoor-outdoor sealant. This is the sealant that I use on my flower pots that I paint and put outside so that um, the paint or the decoupage or whatever I use will remain on. So since these are coasters and they may come in contact with some sort of moisture, I am sealing them as well. Now for the fun part. I'm coming back over my plaque with, and this is not a paint, this is a gel stain. It's a small bottle that I picked up from AC Moore, and it's a stain, so it's going to be easier to use. It's lighter. I don't have to worry about it being too thick unless I want it to be, and I'll continue to go over it. Um, but it just gives a little more depth, and I think it adds that old world, that sort of farmhouse style to this plaque, and so I'm going to go over this. I'm also going to add a little bit of it as well to my coaster since this is going to be a set. And I'm pouncing again, and if I choose to, I can rub off or I can add more, and that's why I like using the gel stain instead of paint. Now you can dry brush as well, but this, for this color scheme, this just worked out easier for me. Now, when it's over and you see the finished product, you will probably see more of the stain because I'm liking that look. So I don't think I'm going to rub any of it off. So while that's drying now, I'm using my Cricut because I'm going to add something to a couple of little dishes that I saved, and what they are candle. They were candles, and of course, when the candles burn out, I kept the dishes. And I didn't. I don't think you've seen in this where I've painted them, but I did. And now I'm cutting out the words that I want to add to them as well. So now that my Cricut is done, I'm going to go through and pick um, these sayings, and then I will put them on the two containers. And then I will glue the two containers to the candelabras that you saw me paint. One is going to say homegrown, and the other will say fresh flowers. And here is where I'm going to glue them together. I'm using both my hot glue and my E6000 so that I can work with it. The hot glue will help it to hold immediately, and the E6000 will make it permanent. It usually takes E6000 about 24 hours to dry completely, so that is why I use the glue gun so that I can put it down and work with it immediately. I think it's coming out pretty nice, don't you? And just to think that that was used to be a candle, and those are just $2 tree uh, candlesticks, and the other is $1 tree candlestick. And so I guess what I have in there, because I use the candles, so I'm going to say the jars are free, $3 for those cute containers. And I love the way they came out. What do you think? So I've added a couple of raffia bows around the bottom of the candles, and I've also tied the four uh, coasters with the raffia as well. And I think they came out really, really nice. And this is the look that I was going for with the stain on everything as well. So guys, here are the projects, and I know it seemed like a lot. Next time I am totally going to go with one project at a time. As you can see here, I have provided my supply. And although I have showed you where I got my items from, you could get all of this from Amazon if you look close enough. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you've gotten some incentive to take some trash and turn it into treasure. I know that it went kind of fast, and like I said, I promise next time I'm going to use one project at a time, go slower so that it's seen. But I just got into the zone and I did want to share them with you, and so that's why it ended up this way. I also didn't want the video to be too long because I was working on the 4 projects, but you will see 3 in the photos. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. I really had missed doing my crafting and my upcycling, but it was nice to get back into the zone. So with that said, I'm going to leave you as I always do with hugs and blessings. I'm going to remind you to remain in your own personal element. And I'm going to ask if you have any questions about what you saw me do because it did go so quickly. Just leave me the questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer any of them or to replicate anything that I've done that you would like to see me do slower, maybe a step by step. Okay? So, with that said, guys, I'm going to go now. I want to remind you that I love you. I also want to welcome all of my new subbies. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you will stick around for the upcoming content. Um, we're going to have some fun. And for all of my cozy lifestylers, you know how I feel about you. I love you. I love spending time with you. I do. I really, really do. So, and with that said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Take it easy. I love you guys. Bye bye for now.